guys. I'm doing the update in the morning for the next couple days. It's Monday, February 24th. I'm in New York for a few days, so I'm going to try and share my plans of what to do this week, as well as recap the madness of Friday. And starting off, I'm showing you a tweet. I showed you a similar tweet on the last video update, but it's just, I thought I was just being cute, and unfortunately, it was not just cute, it was disgusting. This was comparing the chart of the lead up into COVID in 2020, the big COVID drop, as well as kind of what's been happening for us in the last few weeks. And it's crazy how those things kind of repeat. And we even got a coronavirus part 2 headline to kind of top it all off on Friday. So a lot of negative news came out on Friday that kind of affected things. There was that news. Again, it was the only source I saw was the Daily Mail, so take that for what you will. But it was about how there's a coronavirus that's more deadly coming out of the Wuhan lab. And then there was more news about how Microsoft was cutting some CapEx deals that they had previously signed. So, that the negative part about that is, might be good for Microsoft since they find more efficient, ways to do their AI. But on the negative side, it affects a lot of AI names. If people this is kind of like what happened with the DeepSeek drop is, people think, well, if it's a lot cheaper to do everything that they need to do AI wise, then a lot of the big names in AI will potentially drop. The good thing is that I'm seeing NVDA popping this morning, which is obviously the leader in that space. They report earnings this week. I believe it's on the 26th. I believe it's on Wednesday. And so just some headlines to keep in our minds while we kind of process everything that's going on this week and see how the market reacts. So I'm just gonna, obviously in February of 2020, we continued the drop on Monday. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of a bounce. Again, I don't trust it, and I'll tell you when I will trust the bounce. So let me turn that off, and let's go to yes. So, okay, I know this chart looks a little messy. I've added a few things. I'll quickly recap what those are. So, one is that, unfortunately, I had to extend out this pink box again and this blue box. So this pink box was the DeepSeek gap down from a few weeks ago. I thought we were done with it. Unfortunately, we're not. This blue area is the first trade war gap down. Again, unfortunately, we're not past that range now, and these are going to offer resistances. As you can see, even right now with the pre-market actions happening, we've bounced up to there, but kind of hit our head right there. Not a coincidence in my opinion. And I also added a few things, which is, I kind of had to flip back and forth to the daily chart. I've added the yellow line, which is the 8 EMA, as well as the blue line, which is a 20 SMA, and the green line, which is the 50 SMA. I also have the, let me pull it up. You can see the pink line. That's the 100 SMA. So hopefully we don't have to touch on that today or in tomorrow's update. But let me just go over kind of what happened on Friday now. So if we look at on Friday, we started here. This is right in the morning, and this is what I was worried about. We dropped on Thursday and climbed up, which was fine, but this is often called a bear flag. So when you drop sharply and then you start rising up, that can end to a bigger drop down below. It's just like a chart pattern. And for me, what got me worried is that we were bear flagging right into this intraday bull bear line that I have, which is a 200 SMA on the 15-minute chart. This is the 15-minute chart. So once we started hitting our head there, I'm like, I'm getting nervous because we really need to pop through that to kind of push to highs. And that's why I was so nervous here, because we were hitting the top of the sweet spot on this day, and then we dropped and couldn't even get, seriously above the bull bear line. So what happened? We dropped. Again, there was news that came out, plus, maybe people are fearful of the weekend, a bunch of different things that can cause this drop up. And also, of course, it was OPEX. So those monthly OPEX weeks and expiration weeks, this is why I said they're probably best to sit out. I should have sat out too. I did not expect this big of a drop, but, I should have been more prepared. I had some puts, that I bought on this day. So I was able to get, literally bottom up here when I hit the top of the sweet spot. So I was able to get a decent return on them, but I'm always bad at holding my shorts. I'm just like naturally a bull, and I believe that will bounce at certain levels. And I thought we would hold this 20 SMA. But as you can see, once those fail, it just goes a lot deeper. So, we dropped down here to the 20 SMA, and I thought this might be a failed breakdown. Let me just kind of zoom in a little bit. So we, broke down below it and then tried to reclaim it, hit our head at this, the 8 EMA, as well as, this deep seek gap down area, which is around 6105, and then just continued to drill down lower. And this is when, like, all those things that support, the OPEX week, when they go away, that's when, some of these big drops can happen. It can also happen the other way. It can also go up huge. So it basically, those weeks are just very tricky. So I'm not trying to make too much of this drop, but it was way deeper than I was expecting. And we got even I thought this was the line in the sand right here, the 50 SMA. We tried a little bit. You saw this little green bar right here. Again, big drill down again. So maybe people were fearful of coronavirus and, part 2 and all that. But where we held was, this, we didn't get as low as the 60-20 level. And let me show you the significance of that 60-20 level. So let me pull that up. So this is the daily chart on ES. So 60-20. Why does that sound familiar? Well, it was one of our major supports over the last few weeks when we were doing this, up and down, right in this range. And as you can see, we held, was that 60-20. This low was 60-23. This low was 60-20-25. This low was 60-14, and then we had a big green day. This was 60-20-75, and this was 60-24-50 on Friday. So we didn't get as low as that 60-20 level, but if that breaks, you can, this is now the 100 SMA. So just going back to the other chart, 1 second. So going back to the 15-minute chart, you can see I have that that 60-20 level. Sorry, this is wrong. This is not correct. I'm not sure why it's not calculating properly, but I'll have to fix that later. But what are we doing right now? We're, we bounced a little bit, but this is kind of doing exactly what happened on Thursday. So, we bounce and then we're kind of going sideways. This feels like another bear flag, and we're hitting resistance right in this blue region, which was again the trade war gap down that we first had a few weeks ago. And so I'm a little worried that we're going to start falling. So kind of flipping back one last time to the daily chart. Let's pull that up. Sorry. So here it shows the 100 SMA is 60-20, 60-19, 36 to be exact. So if we break that, we could fall all the way here. Not really much support beyond that. There's a little support here at 60, 11. So what I might look for is to see if we have a failed breakdown, we break down below this and then quickly rally up. But we need to see buyers big time at 60-20 area. Otherwise, it's going to get ugly. And I think what could set this off is if NVIDIA earnings are disappointing. That could cause us to drop. So that's why Wednesday is super important. I think we kind of chop around this week until that happens. So, I know I wish I had better news for the bulls out there, but unfortunately, it's this is kind of what's happening. So what I'd like to see today is I'd like to see us push and reclaim the 8 and 20, my favorite 8 and 20. Ideally, this blue line. Ideally, this. If we get back into this pink zone, even I'm like, whoa, okay, that was just OPEX nonsense, and I'm feeling bullish again. Right now, I'm feeling a bit bearish. So, yeah, let's see what can happen. I'd like to see us get above 6105 today. That might be asking a bit much, but you never know. So let's see what's happening. I'll go over a couple charts, and then I'll end this update. So, and again, if there's any charts that you're interested in looking at, feel free to message me, comment on the videos, whatever it is. I'm happy to review them. So let's go over Google. Okay, so Google, I started a position on Friday. I caught the knife. So why did I buy Google? Well, I looked at, hey, it broke the 100 SMA, so I got an alert on that. And then there's this like little, highs that we had before from October and November. And then we, kind of gapped up on like some quantum chip stuff, I think, on this day. And Google was like running high, and doing really well. And then earnings came out and it dropped. And then, so now we're right back where previous resistance, this was resistance before, is now support. We got a little deeper than I wanted. Very possible that we hit this 200 SMA, 175, in which case I would load big time. With names like Google, they just tend to do fairly well around the 200 SMA, unless of course we're having COVID part 2. Then we're screwed. But well, not screwed. We can always buy puts. But so yeah, if you can see right here, 200 SMA, boom, bounced, great run. Got below it here for a few days, and then rallied, and then we continued higher. So here even same thing. You can see always the support of the 200 SMA. So it's a very strong for a lot of these big names. I bet Apple probably has a similar thing. Yeah. So we were down below it here. This was in March of last year. But here I don't know if you guys remember this, but Apple was like doing so well on to the end of last year, and then it just nonstop down for pretty much no reason, in my opinion. But yeah, and then we got all the way to close to the 200 SMA. It didn't even hit it, and then it went up. So can't be perfect with some of these big names. Like I started loading up when we got around this level, because this was also a previous support level. So it helps to kind of like zoom out a little bit and look at the things like the monthly chart when we have like some of these big drops. So if I go to Google, yeah, so I saw this. This is the monthly chart, and we're in the sweet spot still. So we just hit the 8 EMA on the monthly chart, as well as the bottom of the sweet spot. So I'm like, okay, this could be a decent spot to get in some. And I like to buy ugly sometimes, and yeah, it was an ugly buy, but it's a great name. So I always come into these days with a list of names that I think I've wanted, and these are the days that to buy them when they're things are getting really, really ugly. Let me pull up a couple more charts. Yeah, so some of the names that of TEM. Let me go back to the daily chart on that. Yeah, this action got a bit ugly. We broke the 8 EMA. It was a high flyer all the way through the sweet spot here once Nancy Pelosi announced her position. And then, we hit support around the 20 SMA. So I bought some. We bounced a little bit. We're at 70 pre-market. But yeah, again, I'd like to see us get above the 8 and 20 day on that. NBIS. We broke the sweet spot, 8-day, we held the 20-day. We're now even below that on the pre-market today. So yeah, it's it's not looking too hot for some of these names. So like you just had to kind of pick and choose, or like maybe wait a few days to kind of let the dust settle. You don't need to time the exact bottom. Tesla had some news about FSD being deployed in China that I just saw. I was thinking about buying some, but again, I'm like a little nervous just with what the market's looking like, so I didn't rush in. But it was 336 or something like that when I saw it, and now it's 345. So I could have made almost $10. So I'm a little bummed about that, but it's okay. I'd love to see Tesla just start getting better and kind of lead the market higher. So you can see Tesla, we're flying high from December and then all the way down to the 100 SMA, broke below the 100 SMA. Earnings on this day didn't help. Kind of gave us a fate breakout to the upside, and then it dropped again. So, we recovered the the 100-day, and then we broke below it on Friday, and now we're trying to reclaim it now. So, again, it's funny how news kind of manipulates things in a way. Like there's all the bad news you could probably ask for on Friday. When I didn't mention like Ukraine war talks, like ceasefire, like talks like breaking down a bit between like Putin, Zelensky, and Trump, and so like everything, we got hit with a lot of stuff on Friday. So on top of it being OPEC, so let's see how this week goes. Hopefully we get some more bullish news. Hopefully NVDA comes through. Let's go to NVIDIA, then I'll end the video. So we broke the sweet spot. It was holding up pretty nicely during the day on Friday. You can see here, I was like, okay, but right here, when consolidating on a downtrend, this is a bear flag right here, and it turned out to be the case. So we dripped lower and lower and lower, and where did we get to? We broke the 8-day, we broke the 100 SMA, and we got to around the 50 SMA. Very possible that we test this 130 level before earnings, but as you can see, even pre-market, despite all that news about Microsoft, I think TD Cohen had like a note about it as well. So you can search for that. But NVIDIA's buyers have stepped in. Don't know if this is another bear flag that's happening, and we're going to drop lower to the 20 SMA. I wouldn't expect the 100 SMA before, the 200 SMA before earnings, but again, I don't know. It just depends on the larger market. But we really need NVIDIA to start acting better, and hopefully earnings will pop it above this kind of resistance that it's had. So, it was such a great performer in 2024. And then, we've kind of just topped out around this like 150-ish level. This was earnings last time. Tried to push through and then failed. Big failure here. I don't know what that day was. It might have been the DeepSeek. No, this was the DeepSeek day. But so I'd like to see us get, kind of rally up to here, maybe even 150 for before earnings, and then break out. Any gap up, I'm a little bit more nervous about those always, like a huge gap up. But we'll see. I think this is a much better setup going into NVIDIA earnings, even with ES. If we're flying high and, if we were here, for example, on NVIDIA earnings day, I'd be like adding shorts, because that's just setting up like super high expectations, and NVIDIA needs to like blow the doors off. And, they're capable of doing that, but even if they blow the doors off, it might not have blown the doors off enough, if that makes any sense. So better setup sucks to have these days. Like I felt it on my P&L, had a great week, and then, this kind of took back, some of my gains for the week. So, but yeah, let's see what this week brings. Let's see if some of that news kind of, settles down a bit, and we start getting some positive stuff as well. So, thanks guys, and I'll talk to you soon.